Okay, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. احکام را, the rule of ra. Okay, احکام means rules of ra. What is the rule of ra? You know, ra has, when you can pronounce ra heavy, when you can pronounce ra thin, empty mouth. We will read three types. Tafkhim mean heavy. Ra, tafkhim in Arabic word, that's mean heavy ra. And tarqiq mean light ra. And وَيَجُوزُ الْوَجْهَانِ فِي حَالَتَيْن mean you can read both types. Both. You can read ra, sometime ra heavy, and sometime ra light. Now today we will read inshallah tafkhim ra and tarqiq ra. Tafkhim ra is heavy ra and tarqiq ra is light ra. When we can read ra heavy, let's see. First is when ra has fatha. Okay, when ra has fatha, then we can pronounce the ra heavy, full mouth. Ra, 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 like Ramadan, Ramadan, ra heavy. Yeah. When ra has dhamma, and we can pronounce ra heavy. For example, kafaru, now ra has dhamma, kafaru. Okay. Next, sukoon. When ra has sukoon and before ra letter has fatha, or ra sukoon before letter has dhamma, is preceding by the previous letter preceding by fatha or preceding by dhamma. Ra sukoon before fatha or ra sukoon before dhamma, then we will pronounce ra heavy. For example, ra sukoon before it fatha, Maryama, ra heavy, because ra sukoon before it fatha, Maryama. Okay, next, ra sukoon before it dhamma, then we will read ra heavy as well. Let's say like Al-Quran, Al-Quran. We got it. This fatha, dhamma, ra sukoon before it fatha, ra sukoon before it dhamma. These four types you read. When you can read, when you can pronounce ra tafkhim or ra heavy. You got it? Four types. When ra has fatha, second dhamma, third ra sukoon before it fatha, and ra sukoon before it dhamma. Okay, next is when ra sukoon is preceding by sukoon and that letter preceding by fatha or preceding by dhamma. For example, you can see here wal asr, ra sukoon is preceding by, before its letter is swad has sukoon, and before it ain has fatha. Yeah, and now this ra is heavy. Wal asr, innal insana lafi khusr. Khusr. Now there is an example of when ra sukoon and before letter is sukoon and before it dhamma, khusr. We read surah Asr and there is second ayah, innal insana lafi khusr. Ra heavy. Okay, yeah. Fajr, yes, good, mashallah. This is example wal fajr. Now wal fajr, ra sukoon actually is wal fajri. Okay, wal fajri actually. But when you pause, when you waqaf on ra, then ra is a schoon and jim schoon, and before it is fatha. Then you can read ra heavy. When you continue to other ayah, wal fajri wa layalin ashr, then ra is empty mouth. You got it? Okay, next is ra sukoon. Before it sukoon, and sukoon is a temporary and in other word has kasra. Ra sukoon, before it sukoon. You know, you can see in the example, ra sukoon, hamza is sukoon as well. And before it, the letter rabbi is a ba kasra. You know, when this is sukoon is a temporary and kasra in other word, when kasra come in other word, then ra would be heavy as well. For example, you read rabbir ji'u, rabbir, ra heavy, because ba kasra is another word. Okay, when kasra in other word and rabbi is one word, irji'u is one word, and then ra would be heavy. Okay, you got it? And there is another example, alladhir, tada, alladhi, because alladhi is one word and irtada is one word, and kasra is in first word, alladhi. Kasra is in first word, the, and ra schoon, hamza schoon as well, and that's why ra would be heavy. Alladhir, alladhir, tada. And you read Surah Fajr. We read Surah Fajr, and there is irji'i ila rabbiki. Irji'i, there would be ra heavy because e is a temporary. Hamza has kasra, temporary. Okay, not in actual word. That's why ra would be heavy. Okay, here ra sukoon wa qablaha maksur. Maksur means kasra. Ra sakin, and before it kasra, and after ra the letter would be haruf ista'ala. Ista'ala means full mouth letters. You read full mouth letters. 7 khussa, dagtin, qil. 7 heavy letters. For example, and after ra sukoon, ta has fatha. Ta is a heavy letter. Okay, after ra, ta is a heavy letter. That's why ra would be heavy. You got it? Mulk. We check the example. You know, qir, ta, sin, qir. Actually, we will read ra when we can pronounce ra thin. But here ra sukoon, before it kasra, you can see qaf kasra, qi, qi. But after ra, ta has fatha. Ta, there is a ta is heavy letter. That's why ra would be heavy. Qir, qir, tasin, qir, tasin, fir, qatin. Ra sukoon before kasra, and after ra, qaf, heavy letter. Here qaf, heavy letter. That's why ra is full mouth. You got it? You know, this ta, qaf, and sad, these 3 letters are heavy letters. When ra sukoon and before it kasra, the actual rule, inshallah, we will read now. When we can read ra thin, empty mouth, then you will got it, because actually when ra sukoon before it kasra, it is a thin, empty mouth. But here, this is no empty mouth, no thin, there is a ra heavy, because after ra sukoon appear ta. We read ta heavy letters, 7 heavy letters: kha, sa, da, ta, za, ghain, and qaf. When appear after ra any letter from these 7 letters, then ra would be heavy. Okay? When we can pronounce ra like, number 1, when ra has kasra, this sign, then we can read ra thin, like kari. There is ra has kasra, ra is thin. Karimun, smile face, kari, ri. Okay, karimun. And when ra sukoon before it kasra, ra sukoon before it, so preceding by kasra, then ra would be empty mouth, light, like fir'aun, 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 ra thin. Now when ra sukoon before its sukoon, means it's preceding by sukoon. Ra sukoon is preceding by sukoon, and then it's preceding by the word kasra, the harka kasra. Ra sukoon before it kasra, and then before it, ra sukoon before letter has sukoon, and then before it kasra. This ra would be empty mouth. You know, if you see, before ra, jim has sukoon, and then before jim, ha has kasra. Now ra is empty mouth, light. Hijr, hijr. If we say hijro, it's wrong. Hijr. And now qadir, ra sukoon, ya has sukoon, and before the ya is dal kasra. Now this qadir is an empty mouth, light. Qadir, qadir. Okay? You know, when ra sukoon before it ya sukoon, and this ya is maddaleen or madde asli. You know, madde asli, you didn't read about it. Madde asli, ya sukoon before it kasra. If you read qadir, di, here, ya sukoon before dal, because this ya is for lengthen, stretching dal. Qadi, qadi. This called ya madda. Madda means lengthen, stretching. Okay? Ya sukoon or before it kasra, which mad is it? Madde asli. Madde asli means 2 harka lengthen. Okay, we are reading about it. When ra sukoon before it ya, and even ya madde asli, even ya is yaleen. What is a yaleen? Yaleen mean soft mud. You know, 2 letters of soft letters, that means lean letters, 2 letters. Waw sukoon before it fatha, ya sukoon before it fatha. You read in qaida, you know, Nurani qaida, basic qaida, ay, bay, tay. Yeah? Aw, baw, taw, thaw. Did you read? Ay, bay, tay, or aw, baw, taw. You know, so we are stretching, but it's a soft lengthen. Aw, baw, taw, or ay, bay, tay. It's called madde leen. Leen means soft mud. You got it? Ra sukoon before ra appear ya madde leen. Ya maddeleen, because before ya skoon, when we read maddeleen, ya skoon before it fatha. Ya skoon is preceding by fatha. And then ra would be light, empty mouth. In this example, khayr, is it ra heavy, khayr or khayr? Which mad is it? Sorry, which ra is it? Light or heavy? Light. Ra spoon, before it's ya spoon, and before it fatha. Now this is madde leen. You read ay, bay, tay, thay, jay, hay, khoy. Did you read about this? It's a khoy, khoy, khoyr, ras thin, khoyr. Okay, it's like la, roi, roi, but there is I sound. The before ya is fatha, then is a maddeleen, and after maddeleen, if appear ra sukoon, then this ra is empty mouth. Here again, la doir, la doir, ra empty mouth. You got it? If ra has kasratain, two kasratain, tanween, then ra is empty mouth. Okay? Ra, empty mouth if ra has kasratain. In Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Ra Ar-Rahman, Ra has fatha, and which Ra is it? Heavy or light? Ra Ar-Rahman, Ra has fatha, and now this Ra is heavy, Ar-Rahman. And next is Ar-Rahim, Ra has fatha, which Ra is it? Heavy. Good. Okay, next we read second ayah. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ لَا رَيْبَ Ra. Raib. Ra has which harka? Fatha. And which Ra is it? Heavy. Ra has fatha. Ra. Raib. Okay, and next ayah is ayah number 3. الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم رزق. Which ra is it? Heavy, because ra has fatha. رزقناهم. Okay, and next we will, it's ayah number 4. وَبِالْآخِرَةِ, last part. وَبِالْآخِرَةِ, Ra has fatha. Which Ra is it? Have. Next is ayah number 6. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا كَفَرُوا, Ra is heavy. Which harka Ra has? Dhamma. Ra is heavy. Kafaru. Okay, same ayah. Sawa'un alayhim a'anzartahum. Ra skoon before it fatha, heavy. Yeah, good. Okay, same ayah. Am lam tunzirhum Dhirhum, Ra skoon before it kasra. Which Ra is it? Light Ra. Good. Okay, next ayah. Ayah number 7. وَعَلَى أَبْصَارِهِمْ وَعَلَى أَبْصَارِ Ra has kasra. This Ra is light. Abasarihim. Okay, and in ayah 8, wabil akhirat wabil yawmil akhiri Ra is light because Ra has kasra. Okay, next ayah. Ayah number 17. مثلهم كمثل الذي استوقد نارا. There is ra fathatain. Naran. Ron. Which ra is it? Heavy. Heavy ra. Or if you are stopping on ra, for example, we read مثلهم كمثل الذي استوقد نارا. Then heavy as well, because giving fatha ra. Okay, ra fatha, alif, ra heavy, no light. Yeah, ra fatha with alif, ra fatha, ra damma with waw, ru, heavy. Okay, next ayah. Ra schoon is ayah number 18. Ra schoon, before it fatha. Summum bukmun umyun fahum la yarji'un. Ra schoon, before it fatha. Which ra is it? Heavy ra. Is that ra tafkhim. Tafkhim mean heavy. Okay, next ayah number 19. أو كصيب من السماء فيه ظلمات ورعد وبرق. Ra schoon, وبرق, before it fatha, ra is heavy. Okay, ayah number 39 is وَالَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا. Kafaru. This ra is heavy. وَكَذَّبُوا بِآيَاتِنَا أُولَئِكَ أَصْحَابُ النَّارِ. If I pause on ra, actually is a nari. Ra kasra ri. If you continue ashabun nari, then ra thin. If you pause on ra, give schoon, then check the previous letter. Which harka is it? And previous letter noon has fatha. Now you have to read ra full mouth, heavy. Understand? Ulaika ashabun nar. Nar. If you continue, then ra is empty mouth. Ulaika ashabun nari hum fiha khalidun. Then ra is ri. Nari. Nari. Sister, do you got it? The last word is wa iyaya farhabun. Far. Ra schoon, and before it fa has fatha. This is heavy or thin? Heavy. Farhabun. Okay, next ayah number 41. In the middle of ayah, وَلَا تَكُونُوا أَوَّلَ كَافِرٍ. Rim kasratain. Ra kasratain. This is light or heavy? Light. And next lesson